Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai. So let's start with, we'll do all the three prayers today. So I request the Parvardigar prayer to be read by Ashok, the repentance prayer to be read by Ravi ji, and then Mama ji will read Beloved God. So over to you, Ashok ji.
On the screen, can you
Those of you who want to, yeah, sorry. Those of you who want to stand up, please go ahead. Oh, I see Ravi already standing up. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes, please.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai, Universal Prayer. O Parvardigar, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning and without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible and none can see you, but with eyes divine, you always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere, you are in everything, and you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are,
Manifest and unmanifest. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
can you please mute? You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in the three worlds and beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. Your knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all knowing, infinite knowing, knower of the past, the present, and the future, and your knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the ancient one, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu and Parmeshwar. You are the beyond God and the beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, Yazdan, Ahurmaz, and God the Beloved. You are named Izzat, the only one worthy of worship. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Utar Meher Baba Ki Jai. We repent, O God, most merciful, for all our sins. For every thought that was false or unjust or unclean. For every word spoken that ought not to have been spoken. For every deed done that ought not to have been done. We repent for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, and for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred. We repent especially for every lustful thought and every lustful action, for every lie, for all hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for all slander and backbiting. Most especially also we repent for every action that has brought ruin to others, for every word and deed that has given others pain, and for every wish that pain should befall others. In your unbounded mercy, we ask you to forgive us, O God, for all these sins committed by us, and to forgive us for our constant failures to think and speak and act according to your will.
Prayer for Baba's lovers and Mandli. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more. till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to hold fast to Baba's daman till the very end. Tar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Thank you very much, all three of you. Uh, yeah, so we.
I think it was great. Just a little editorial comment on the last prayer, TILL, till.
Yeah. I had to fix it.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
There's a typo. There's a typo there from a long time.
It's okay. It's okay. I just thought it came to my mind. So
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So we are at the end of chapter 7, and there are two recommended readings which we didn't take up. If you remember, we were about to take up the Beam's Fabric of the Universe uh, reading, but instead we read about the accident last Sunday. So we will read Fabric of the Universe and Ways to the Path and its stages and stages from states and stages from Listen Humanity. It is a bit of a repetition. The Listen Humanity is a bit of a repetition, but and also there is a lot more introductory content in the beginning. So we can just quickly read through that. It's about totally 10-15 pages. So my target is to see if we can finish both these references and then get to the next chapter in the next session. Yeah. Any thoughts on that plan? Okay. So if there are no, yeah, we'll go ahead with that. So first is Fabric of the Universe. Uh, um, Maybe I'll read for a bit and then we will keep rotating that. Yeah. Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai. This is from Beams. The fabric of the universe. It is natural for the human mind to desire to know the general structure of the universe. It is also helpful to have a sort of chart of the universe in which one finds oneself. The fabric of the universe includes the spheres and the planes and the different bodies with which a human soul is endowed. The gross, subtle, and mental spheres are interpenetrating globes and have an existence in space. They can be regarded as places since they have an expansion in space. The planes, on the other hand, are both places and states, though the state of a particular plane cannot be experienced unless one's consciousness first gets raised to it and begins to function from there. So, worlds are space. I mean, they are three-dimensional, or they can be experienced in space. But planes are places and states, though the state of a particular plane cannot be experienced unless one's consciousness first gets raised to it and begins to function from there. So if you're on the sixth plane, you are in the mental world, but then your consciousness needs to be risen to that point. But does the mental world exist if your consciousness does not reach that point? The answer is a resounding yes. That's what Baba is saying. All the three worlds are existing all the time. But your ability to experience this state and planes are limited by your evolution of consciousness. There are 49 steps in the ascent through the planes. The human mind delights in perceiving and creating symmetry and proportion everywhere. But this tendency should not be carried into the realm of facts. The 49 steps in the path are not evenly distributed within the 7 planes. They are distinguished from each other because of their distinguishing psychic characteristics, although they have also structural equivalence in the subdivisions of the 7 planes. The human soul has 3 bodies: gross, subtle, and mental. Though overlapping each other, they would still impel the soul in 3 psychic dimensions were there no point of interaction or fusion between them. This contact intertwining bodies invites action and interaction between the three bodies. With most men, the life of action means nothing but inner confusion and outer chaos, a jumble from which they cannot extricate themselves. To annul this confusion, it is necessary to strive for conscious inaction, which is the goal. And this striving for conscious inaction requires conscious action. This particular type of conscious action, which leads one on to conscious inaction, operates trans-bodily, requires vehicular purity and concord. In the beyond state of God, there is unconscious inaction. At the goal of man, there is conscious inaction. And in the intermediate state, there is conscious action, which is established in illusion. All three of these topics are covered when we go to Listen Humanity after this in more greater detail. But we have also covered this, if you remember, in Discourses in a big way, in the chapter Action and Inaction. The fusion point becomes the medium for effecting harmony between all the three bodies. If the musts, God intoxicated souls, are to be brought down from the mental to the subtle or from the subtle to the gross, this has to be effected through the contact of intertwinement. This fusion point also brings all three bodies under the control of what is sometimes called the universal body, which is the seat of the universal mind. The higher bodies function either by impersonal and unconscious forces or by conscious forces. Kundalini is a latent power in the higher body. When awakened, it pierces through 6 chakras or functional centers and activates them. Without a master, awakening of the Kundalini cannot take anyone very far on the path, and such indiscriminate or premature awakening is fraught with dangers of self-deception as well as misuse of powers. The Kundalini enables man consciously to cross the lower planes, and it ultimately merges into the universal cosmic power of which it is a part, and which also is at times described as Kundalini. Ordinarily, Kundalini is the name for the power latent in the individualized soul. The awakened Kundalini cannot by itself take anyone to the 7th plane. When awakened and directed under the guidance of some great yogi, it can give many rare experiences which have both advantages and disadvantages. The important point is that the awakened Kundalini is helpful only to a certain degree, after which it cannot ensure further progress. It cannot dispense with the need for the grace of a perfect master. Again, Baba said this in multiple places on Kundalini. So,
Yeah. Karthik, I have a question.
sure.
The fourth plane, the enchantment of the fourth plane
Threshold,
and
yeah.
threshold and the
Yeah.
Kundalini, are they correlated or is this the question? I don't know.
There's no evidence to suggest that, but there could be a correlation because of the reference of powers and experiences. So it can give many experiences which have advantages, which could suggest that these are powers of the fourth plane. But I think these go beyond the fourth plane as well.
Okay.
But I think there's
Okay.
no evidence to suggest what you're exactly correlating.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, can I say something here?
Sure.
Ashok, you want to say something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. I'm done.
Oh, okay. So I was just browsing in the YouTube, and this guy comes and says he cannot do the breathing exercises as you like. There is a procedure, and I'm trained. And then I watched it for some time. To start with, you have to awaken your Kundalini, the bottommost Kundalini, where it is the energy center is near the genitals. And I watched it, and he said, do Kapalabhati only for 30 times. And every day I do breathing exercises, three kinds of exercises: Loma, Nuloma, Kapalabhati, and equal breathing. Those kind. Now I was in a doubt whether that guy, I don't know whether that guy is true or not. So, but I want to learn the correct way of breathing. And my thoughts are going while you're reading this. And Baba is very clear here, right? Kundalini will take you only up to certain, and it has to be done by a great yogi. The important point is that the awakened Kundalini is helpful only up to a certain degree, after which it cannot ensure further progress. Then I thought,
Yeah,
okay, let me follow Baba. Whatever Baba says, I'll
yeah,
do. It-
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it could be coincidental that the lower chakras, the Muladhara, could get activated and could yield physical benefits on, especially things like breathing. Maybe he's right, maybe he's not right. You're the person you saw. But I
mm,
think, as you said, it's better to be less worried about it. Go with the larger accepted body of knowledge around the breathing practices, which are proven to be very, very helpful.
yeah, yeah,
All of what you said, other than the Muladhara, is all absolutely useful for all of us. In fact,
yeah.
I've never been, I've always wanted to start, and I've never done it. I'm glad you're doing it. So,
And Karthik, one more thing is that it says you need to the grace of, I mean, the help or assistance and grace of the perfect master.
perfect master. Yeah.
Now, how do we get that now?
Actually, I had COVID before the vaccines came.
Mhm.
And one of the attributes the doctors say is because you do these breathing exercises, your lungs are strong enough that you're able to cope up with this COVID.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. It's so it's basically, so if you from what I understand, again, a lot of medical knowledge on the call, so I'll keep quiet. But what I understand is the yogic breathing exercises, Hatha Yoga, yogic pranayama, and all the exercises are just about increasing the capacity of the lungs and making our normal breathing leisurely, whereas we are always rushing the breathing. So we are always in a hurry to ingest and get exhale. So we are always in a hurry, and that's what it helps you focus on. And in that process, sustained exercise will improve your overall lung capacity, and so on and so forth. Yes. So
I think it is one part is lung capacity. There are also chemical theories like nitric oxide generation. Do this
okay.
exercise, and then nitric oxide is very useful in killing the, it takes care of the bacteria and so that stuff which is harmful. It regenerates the tissue shells and all that. There is also that part. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And
Interesting.
Nitric oxide dump is, you can Google it out. There are exercises which improves that. Breathing is one of them. There are many others which increases your lung capacity and all that. Jai Baba.
Excellent.
yeah, and also there is the eighth path or the Ashtanga Yoga, of which asana and pranayam are part, but the ultimate goal is coordination.
Correct. Like spiritual stuff needs a perfect master, maybe a yoga also needs a perfect master. So keep looking, Ravi, and if you find someone, share.
Basically,
So
it is these are the tools from coming from outside to inside actually, like solitude, meditation, breathing exercises. That वाह से अंतर, जैसे हिंदी में हम लोग बोलते हैं, we are all connected to the external world. It connects you and brings back to your inner world actually. There are many of these tools, Kundalini yoga and these breathing exercises, meditation. So these are the ones. Isolation, confinement, seclusion, silence. So these are the techniques. Yeah. Jai Baba.
Yeah, Bob.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Okay, let's continue. The relation between cosmic power and the individualized soul is unique. In the case of a perfect soul, the relation has been described fairly adequately through the Christian idea of Trinity, which comprehends the three aspects of God: the Father, Creator and Preserver; the Son, Savior and Redeemer; and the Holy Ghost, the Spirit of Truth or Grace. This concept of tri-unity, three in one, grasps and expresses some important factors in the spiritual fabric of the universe. It should not be artificially equated with the Vedantic trinity of the creator, preserver, and destroyer, which reveals the fabric of the universe from a different point of view. All these are different ways of understanding the unitary and omnipotent power in the cosmos. There's a lot more treatment of this in Bhau's book as well, right? So in Nothing and the Everything by Bhau, there is a lot more
Yeah.
treatment of the Trinity. But
Yes,
again,
yes.
honestly, I did not understand this very much here, especially the spirit of truth and or grace, and what the reference here to Holy Ghost is. But it's like it says in the last line, all these are different ways of understanding the unitary and omnipotent power in the cosmos. I think so. We leave it at that. Continuing, much of the work of the divine incarnation is often done through his agents who carry on the duty entrusted to them by the incarnation. The agents may be on the gross plane or on the inner planes. If they do not have a gross body, they are invisible to ordinary people. They help persons in their ascent through the planes. And divine incarnation seems to suggest avatar, but it could include perfect master as well. Some agents fulfill the purpose of the divine incarnation unconsciously. They do not know consciously whence their impetus or inspiration comes. Other agents receive instructions from the avatar and knowingly and voluntarily carry out these instructions. So divine incarnation is clearly one avatar. As a rule, in his ascent to the eternal truth, an aspirant first becomes subtle conscious and then mental conscious before realizing the truth. The subtle conscious soul generally does not come back to the gross world. This does not mean that the subtle conscious soul does not take a gross form or dwell in the gross world with his gross body. It means that the consciousness of the soul is no longer entangled with the gross form of the gross world, and that it is chiefly engrossed in the subtle world. There is a footnote. Yeah, we read this in God Speaks as well. So you may be in the subtle plane, but you are also using your gross body and the gross world.
Actually, Karthik, in the creation and its causes, Baba talked about if the people in the planes drop their body, what happens to them? So the people on the first plane, second plane, and third plane, when they drop the body, they are born in the gross plane as a gross conscious being, and then they evolve into the into whatever the plane they belong to very fast, and then they get stationed. But this is only for the mass who are
Yeah.
intoxicated, getting lost in the heavens. If they get by chance lucky enough to find a guru, then there's no problem. But usually they want to enjoy wherever they are. And sometimes I believe people go up to thousands of years like that.
Mm.
Jai Baba.
Okay, well, thank you. Continuing, the condition of the subtle conscious soul is an interesting contrast with the condition of ghosts. Ghosts are departed spirits who have been too much attached to the gross world. After dropping the physical body, they still desire to live in close contact with the gross. They continue to gravitate in the lower subtle and astral planes. Their astral sheath or envelope is automatically actuated by the impressions concerning the gross and keeps them tied down to the gross for long periods. Their tendencies are directly opposed to the tendencies of the subtle conscious aspirants. The subtle conscious aspirant, though linked up with the gross world, gets wafted to the subtle planes and the experiences and moves upwards toward the truth. The ghosts, though severed from the gross body, gravitate to the gross world with its experiences owing to their actuating gross impressions. Thus, in a sense, the subtle conscious soul is an inverted ghost. The mental conscious soul, even while retaining a gross body, remains stationed on its higher planes without getting entangled even with the subtle planes. It keeps waiting till it merges with God or truth in the seventh plane. After merger, the soul may remain immersed in the bliss of God realization and become a madzub or come down to the lower planes of duality for work without losing its realization of the unitary truth and become a perfect master. Whether a particular God realized soul becomes a madzub or a perfect master is a matter decided by the initial urge in creation. These varieties of terminal states are not subject to sanskaric or impressional determination. This is something that I'm going to mark out. We've read it in different places in different ways, but the terminal states, Madzub, Perfect Master, Jivan Mukta, even a must, are not impressional determination or determined through sanskaras, but it is actually
Yeah.
determined directly by the, I mean, it's already predetermined, let's say. In both, yeah.
Karthik, the previous sentence, what does it mean?
So actually both are linked, so it might be good to mark both. What it says is whether a particular God realized soul becomes a madzub or a perfect master, that is, in the state, they have a role to come back to gross world and have a role in creation, or be a madzub and not really be connected to the world. That choice is not left to sanskaras, but it's predetermined, and your sanskaras take you in that direction, and
Yeah.
uh, you just become either a perfect master or a madzub. That's my understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. So in another way of saying it is, Mamaji, is let's say when how are all the jivas created is when the ocean has a wave. When the wave comes, there is so many bubbles are formed, right? The drop souls. When the
Yes.
drop soul is formed, then itself the destiny is created. Which
Yes.
drop soul has to be Mazub, which drop soul has to be perfect master, everything. It's all divine determination. Later on, the drop soul goes on through evolution and incarnation, and then the four journeys.
So, just curious, now that we discussed this topic, I have a question. So, if it is determined,
Let's see if Mama. Let's see if Mamaji got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
answer.
Mamaji's response, yeah.
The idea is the initial urge for every bubble is towards its destiny. So the initial urge is to become God realized or to live and experience in this world is dependent on the initial way of that soul's direction that it takes. So the initial urge can be different for different bubbles. Am I correct?
Baba only
here?
talked about only Mazub and Perfect Master, but Baba did not talk about if somebody is getting liberation, that is after death, or God realization while being in the body. I think Baba mentioned in a different place, I don't remember where, lot of people get liberation. Only few people get God realization
Yes.
because of the number of 56 they have to maintain, right?
Yes.
The divine number is maintained 56 at any point of time.
Yes. By this
That's why probably.
structure, how it works, and what are the other details, we don't know. Anyway, that's a slightly newer aspect which is brought to light today. Jai
Once we
Baba.
get God realization, Mamaji, you will get everything. You'll understand
Yes.
it. You'll get it. You'll know.
Yes.
Matter of time. That's it.
I think it's to each his own, or we can say different strokes for different folks. So it all depends on your karmic construct, as the word which Karthik used. So I think it's each his own.
Ashok, the other thing that I could gather reading the previous page was that don't get too attached to the gross world, otherwise there are chances that we become ghosts, which is kind of a hindrance to the journey. Jai Baba.
Ghost ban jaoge.
Rightly said. I was just reading and I was listening to a YouTube about Gautam Buddha. So it's basically we don't have to get attached. We have to get detached, or vairagya or renunciation. That's I think that is the key to on the path. It's difficult, easier said than done, but that's the key to the path.
And still do our duties to the best of the ability.
Oh yes, absolutely. But what I said that you don't shirk your.
Difficult part is that I think is very easy running away, but Baba's expectation is
On both. You
do your best.
Do
When
your
you
best.
do your best, typically you get attached, because you have done it. It's very difficult to keep your eye off that the work that you have done with such passion, right? So
Yeah.
that's the whole trick. Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult, but you have to work towards it. Jai Baba.
So I was drawn to a question which now I withdraw, but I will summarize with a statement. I think there is a beautiful subtlety in this deterministic order, right? So the law of karma and sanskaras is a beautiful deterministic order to justify all the diversity in the world, right? In all the diversity in creation. Whereas
What is
there is
diversity? What did you say? Diversity?
diversity. No,
Oh,
diversity, right? So somebody is poor, somebody is rich, somebody is suffering, somebody is not, and so on, right? So that and there is a law in operation that's causing this, right? So there's a cause and effect, which is very easy for the human mind to accept. What is contra in this last page that we are reading is the fact that there is a pocket of divine determination that rules over this. But then what's to note is even that is a law, and that we learned in beams, right? Even the operation of laws is a hierarchy, and divine determination is at the top, is absolutely at the top. And so whether this minor aspect of someone becomes, I mean, it may be major for that person, whether he becomes a Majzub or perfect master. But I'm saying in the larger cosmos of possibilities and the creation itself, this part is reserved for divine determination. So it's so beautiful. I mean, we have to understand it and meditate upon this and think deeper that this is how it works. It works where most of it is sanskaric, but hey, there is some things that you just can't mess with, and it's already done. And to follow up
Everything
on
is samskaras. Everything is sanskaras, right? For a human being.
no, but yes, but whether you end up being a Majzub or a perfect master is not just
Oh,
sanskaras. That's the point.
that is rare. That's very rare. Very, very
What
rare.
is
How
that?
many perfect masters are there? 5, right, at a time?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the point I'm making too. So this
Right.
pocket of contra or this, what should we say in scientific ways? Exception. The exception to
Mm.
the rule is for a very, very small pocket, like you said. It's a minority. Small minority is the exception. Otherwise, it's just
Yeah.
sanskaras.
Mm.
Perfect.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
All
the
right. So,
they're the chosen ones. Karthik, can we read the last paragraph again if it's okay with all?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll read the whole paragraph. The mental conscious soul, even while retaining a gross body, remains stationed on its higher planes without getting entangled even with the subtle planes. It keeps waiting till it merges with God or truth in the seventh plane. After merger, the soul may remain immersed in the bliss of God realization and become a majzub or come down to the lower planes of duality for work without losing its realization of the unitary truth and become a perfect master. Whether a particular God realized soul becomes a Mansub or a perfect master is a matter decided by the initial urge in creation. These varieties of terminal states are not subject to sanskaric or impressional determination. In both terminal states, there is no trace of any binding impressions. However, the entire fabric of the universe serves but one purpose, namely realization of God. I have one follow-up point, like I was saying to Mamaji's summary. So, is the initial urge once or once for every drop? So,
Yes,
is the
yes,
initial urge
yes, yes,
once in creation or once for every drop soul?
yes. That is the question going on in my mind also.
After you said, I got that. After your last statement.
Because
You know,
till now what we learned, say what we observed from what Baba is telling all of us every time, that it is initial urge happens uh, for once. It is not happening for
For every
every
soul.
bubble every time it say emerges out of the ocean. So how to interrelate all these things is a question now for all of us.
let
So,
me
firstly,
attempt.
I think let's agree. I mean, yeah, go ahead, Ravi. You were saying something. After you.
See, before in the God Speaks, where was it discussed about the initial urge? Mostly in the God Speaks, right? More
Correct?
details, right? So before he started that chapter, what was the first line he said? The first line he started out is, let's take one drop, for example, right?
Mhm.
So for one drop, all these things are happening. And what about the other souls? Is it timed, or is it done collectively so that each individually have their own experience? The fact that it's all happening in the home point, it's happening individually and collectively. This is my 2 cents. Maybe not true, but this is what I deduct from what I understand from the God's Jeva.
Very good
Yes,
point.
yes,
Because
a very good
in
point. We have to go back and read
further we
in
will
this context.
encounter
Yes.
correct. And
Well,
also
it
when we
doesn't
go
matter. What are we going to
further,
do?
the
What are we going to do once we know? Is all curiosity we have.
Yes.
well, my friend, 7:30 on a Sunday morning, if you're sitting here, it's only Jigyasu, your curiosity that has got you here. You got this far thanks to that that trait. So anyway,
Hey,
to
Kama is
come
here.
back to
Why don't we ask Kama?
Kama's here.
Welcome back,
Yeah,
Kama,
Jacob.
after a long time.
Where
Jai
where
Where
are
is
Baba.
you,
Kama
Mr.
nowadays?
Kama?
Kama, where are you now? Thanks for your response
I'm
to
in
my
Myrtle Beach Center.
Yes.
Myrtle Beach,
Oh,
Perfect.
lovely,
America. Oh my goodness.
lovely,
Hmm.
lovely. Which
Yeah,
cabin did you get?
Just
he's on the
it's
beach
called the
with the
cable.
hippies. Right, Kama?
green,
Are you with
green,
the hippies on
green
the
room.
beach?
Green cabin. Okay.
No. How long are you there, Kama?
Till Tuesday morning, 1 week.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
So,
it,
Kama didn't comment on the point that was being raised. So I was curious. Kama has any comment?
yes.
What was the question? What was the question?
Karthik?
Yeah. Is the urge happening once for all of creation, or it's happening once for every drop soul?
Repeat that again. Is the urge happening
Initial
for
urge,
all of
the
creation?
initial urge, is it a one-time occurrence in creation, or is it a one-time occurrence for every drop soul? So in effect, is there just one urge, one lahar, or is one lahar per drop soul?
Oh, one layer, one drop soul. I mean, logically, because the end goal is the same, so it has to be one layer for all drop souls.
Yes,
No.
and the only evidence to suggest that it's a constantly running activity is we will encounter that further in God, further down in God Speaks, which is what Ravi also mentioned. The 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 creation, preservation, and destruction steps are present continuous. They are happening all the time. They're happening all the time, right? So does that include even the urge, the initial urge or the whim and the first step for the soul? And linked to that is a mathematical question as well. So how do you explain newer souls that keep coming, right? So the
I
and
got
we have
I got a thought. Yeah, I got a
sure,
thought. Can
go
I say
ahead.
that? You know,
Sure, go
one
ahead.
of the job that avatars job is to create new souls.
Yes.
It's written in the Avatar Meher Baba manifestation by Baba Kalchuri. These notes were given to Baba Kalchuri by Baba. Baba asked him to write about his manifestation. He wrote that book. In that book, he wrote the duties of the avatar. One of the points I remember, I read a long time ago. One of the duty is avatar creates new souls whenever avatar comes. So does that relate to the question we are thinking?
Yeah, that's the mathematical part that I was coming to. So how do you
Mm.
explain newer and newer increase in quantity of souls, right? So how does that keep happening? Which means there is a evolution, involution, and increase in the human population as well, right? So there's
Yeah.
constant, yeah. So I think
Compared
it's a
to so
continuous
many
process.
billions, compared to so many billions, what are the population of the world? 7.5 billion, right? And 8 billion, whatever it is. And then we don't even know what's the population of other planets, yeah, B and C. the two other planets connected with our Earth. We don't even know what are the population of that. We're just talking about the human beings, but we have to think about all the souls, right? Every jiva. That means
Yeah.
every ant, every electron, every molecule, every gas, so many souls, and it's unbelievable. Trillions and trillions.
Mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
Okama,
But
back to you.
yeah.
Well, what I can say is that because this whole thing is happening in the divine dream of God, first of all, space-time exists only in the waking state. Okay, space-time is not during the sleeping dream or the what we call the sound sleep state. So I think it's a very speculative discussion in a way because uh, there can be many answers. So because we are dealing with space-time, which itself is part of the Maya of creation, so I would not give too much importance to that. You know, just I mean, it's not a clear answer, rational answer, but that's what comes to me. You know, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think to specifically, I mean, to put it in another way, I don't think Baba has addressed it uh, anywhere that I have encountered. So maybe this is a object of research, but yeah, we, we don't have a clear answer. Mama G and anybody else who's thinking on these lines now.
I have a small point on this. The concept of pralaya says that all the jivatmas or the souls, they go back into sort of hibernation with all the
Correct?
packages of their sanskara, everything, and then they re-emerge from there afterwards. So with this concept, how do we say absorb what we are reading? So there is a lot of things to uh, think over.
One more
Uh,
dimension. Yeah, the
uh,
one more dimension is that.
yes, Baba will give us a way out of this sometime. We will wait for it, struggle and wait for it. Okay, Jai
But
Baba.
keep the thought, keep the
Yes, yes, yes,
curiosity, keep
yes,
thinking, keep meditating on it, and I'm sure
yes.
Baba will answer. In fact, I remember there is a beautiful talk on Mahapralaya by Don Stevens. I
Ah,
will try to listen to it again.
yes. You
Maybe
can
he,
put the link also.
yeah. If
And
once I find
yesterday,
it and
what you
listen,
sent to say Ashok regarding that Sridhar, I have read something from him, but you can
okay.
just pass on the link also.
Yeah. So he runs a very continuous series also. It's on Bhagavatam, and I
Yes,
listen to
yes,
it
yes.
pretty often. Listen to it pretty often.
Hmm.
But this was specifically on religions, so it's
Ah,
other religions. So I'll send it. I'll send it to you. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the end of this chapter, the fabric of the universe. So let's just go to um, listen humanity and read the second reference. Yeah. So this is the chapter that's referred in God Speaks, chapter 6, Ways to the Path and its states and stages. Truly happy people. Oh, anybody wants to read? Sorry,
I can read. I can read.
you love listen humanity. Yeah,
Yeah, I
go ahead.
love. That is one of my. It's simple, but it's one of my favorite books.
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
The ways to the path and its states and stages. Truly happy people are rare in spite of the smiles, which are usually the brave front for varying degrees of internal misery. Yet everywhere and in every walk of life, man is longing for happiness and searching desperately for some means of breaking out of the trap which his life has become. It is not his fault if he assumes that the solution to his deep dissatisfaction lies in a sensual life or in achievement in business or the social world or in life of exciting experiences. Neither it is his fault if the life is not usually long enough to teach him factually that he would find even more profound disillusionment if these goals were to be fulfilled to the hilt. If he would suspect that his ideas of achieving a successful and happy life were wrong, and he and that he must try some new way of living, then the stalemate might be broken. A new line in the divine picture is sketched only when some individual takes life forcefully in his hands, breaks up the old patterns, and insists on creating something new by his own inner vision. I take a pause. By his own inner vision means going internally via meditation, or what is this? Can somebody elaborate? Or I'll just read the line again. A new line in the divine picture is sketched only when some individual takes life forcefully in his hands, breaks up the old patterns, and insists on creating something new by his own inner vision.
So Bahar se andar, what Sanjay ji said earlier on the call. So that's the first time you start asking the questions about where and whither and whence and so on. So first steps at getting into the path. That's
Correct.
what is being referred to. But by the way, so just as context, because we are jumping from chapter to chapter in different books, this chapter is starts with a very elaborate intro on states and stages. My suggestion is we are in the meat of it. We need the meat of this chapter. So the first few parts, read it in a very general sense and
Okay.
focus on the planes and states where we can delve deeper. So this is more general. So he's just talking about how the life starts for a person, and he's lost in illusion, and he's first time starts questioning things. That's inner vision.
Fair point.
Yeah, thank you.
Progress progress in the inner life of the individual is accomplished by such a breaking with the old and venturing forth into new ways. True happiness can come only to one who will find the courage to strike free of the attachments which he has formed throughout a sterile lifetime. If he will not do this, then he is shackled endlessly to the treadmill of oppressive action in which happiness is so transient that it has almost disappeared the moment it is experienced. After it has disappeared, there is left only the persistent, bottomless vacuity of mind which strangles life regardless of repeated efforts to fill it with endless experiences. Such suffering comes from blunt ignorance or persistent attachment to illusion. The average person plays with illusion as children play with toys. It is not easy for little children to give up their toys, and it is equally difficult for adults to relinquish the mental and emotional toys to which they have become habituated. The mind of the individual is very old, and through the ages, it has become deeply engrossed in playing with illusion. It has become addicted to this self created spectacle, and it has no thought other than to go on watching with fascination through cycles and cycles of creation. During this period of rebirth in cosmic illusion, the individualized soul becomes identified with the physical body due to the limitations imposed upon consciousness by the impressions, sanskars. Its knowledge of reality is therefore necessarily restricted to the products and influences of sense perception. Information so obtained is completely inadequate and even misleading insofar as the true nature of reality is concerned. The quest for happiness is irretrievably enmeshed in the problems of the illusion of the world of form with which the individual self has become identified through the body. If this illusion can be shattered, the shackles which binds happiness are automatically shattered as well. But how to shatter the illusion? An, an individual who mistakenly believes he is a coward may live a lifetime of misery during which all his actions are shaped by this incorrect belief. But if some event in his life challenges him so deeply that he unthinkingly strides forth with great courage, then the illusion will suddenly vanish and he will see himself as a different being. Often it takes a real crisis to bring out the sure knowledge of the real inner self, and it is always even as the individual can be wrong in his convictions regarding his own nature, so he is often quite wrong about the nature of the world around him. In reality, it is a world of illusion that separates him from his true birthright of freedom and happiness in oneness with the One, one with a capital. Actually, no individual is entirely devoid of some real happiness in some form. For God, as an endless and fathomless ocean of bliss, is also within every person, and no one is entirely cut off from Him. Pleasure sought in illusion inevitably results in endless perpetuation of that very same false life of the ego, which leaves behind the real exposed to intense suffering. The whole play of illusion and suffering it engenders functions by the divinely established law of karma, cause and effect. Therefore, suffering must be accepted with grace and fortitude. It must be remembered that one's own actions are the cause of one's are a cause of much of one's suffering, and therefore wise action can minimize it. But real alleviation of suffering requires spiritual enlightenment, and for that, man must turn to the perfect masters and the God man avatar. If the world of form is only an illusion in reality, and its harvest is such a rich one of the misery, then why should its experience be required of the soul? Life in the world of matter is an unavoidable phase in the progress of the individual, in as it provides the field for action. Action is the expression and therefore the focusing of the mental and emotional impressions, sanskaras, which impel the individual. As the individual acts, other motivating forces incompatible with the momentary effort are withheld. Action Action is the paramount means through which the individual exercises discrimination in choice and adjustment between the many claims exerted upon his consciousness. Action also links a large number of individuals together through the innumerable karmic ties which have arisen out of the past service and bondage. The material world offers the necessary environment for this interchange and interdependence. On one hand, these karmic ties trap the mind in a complex web. On the other hand, they facilitate collective life with all its opportunities for exercise of love, sacrifice, service, and mutual help. Through the negative lessons of hate and malice, as well as the positive lessons of love and service, the individual finds himself compelled to participate in collective effort. The mind's seeming isolation is continually invaded by the life streams of other minds, ultimately enabling the individual to abandon entirely the illusion he had entertained of being separate. Thus, he gradually comes to realize the unity of all life. In spite of the suffering entailed, experience in the material world of action is thus not without compensating value. It constitutes a necessary phase in purifying the consciousness of the mind from all illusion in order that it may be transmitted into the consciousness of the soul. One sees then that the material and spiritual worlds of lower and higher illusion play an irrepressible role in the divine game, which has its goal that man shall become consciously aware of his own divinity. The positive values derived from the divine sport in illusion cannot be harvested without simultaneous collection of the residual byproducts of the coming to consciousness termed impressions or sanskaras. A newly constructed building is not considered to be really complete until the debris of construction has been cleared away. Similarly, the fully developed individual consciousness is not available for union with the unity until these residual products have been cleaned away and there is left only the completely untrammeled unitary nature of the individualized soul, now fully conscious of self. This, 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 does this refer to Manonash?
Yes, I think, yeah, after Manonash.
Yes, after Manonash. Okay. I just thought I just shared it. As
Yeah.
discussed earlier, in the process of both sleep and death, the individual returns unconsciously and briefly to the beyond state of God. In it, the soul achieves refreshment before it returns first to the subconscious state of ordinary dreams or the intense subconscious state of heaven or hell, and then to the ordinary conscious state of wakefulness or reincarnate life. The individual cannot remain in the beyond state of God for long and for very important reasons. The goal is to achieve the full awareness of consciousness, which is fully achieved when all of the residual impressions have been dispelled. Full consciousness is achieved in the first human form, but remains captured, so to speak, by the residual impressions, which continue to exist regardless of the waking or sleep state of the individual mind. It is as if they continue to stand as the unpaid balance of the price of consciousness. It is due to the standing impressions of sanskaras that the individual consciousness must return again and again from oblivion to square its account with the illusion in illusion. However, consciousness must eventually disengage itself from the enmeshment in the material realm of action, for in the long run, all activities of the worldly man are like the movements of someone on the surface of the ocean. He develops some knowledge of the ocean of life through these activities, but only as much is obtainable through exploration on the surface of the ocean. The time inevitably.
So, if I may just point out, I think from here, it's the stakes, and we are ending the general part of the introduction and going into the part that's relevant to where we are coming from God Speaks. So now you can read slowly if required. You can pause, ask questions, whatever. Just read again from this line, please. The time
inevitably comes when he wearies of surface wanderings and makes up his mind to plunge into the depths of the ocean of life. Thereupon, he becomes deeply concerned with the riddles of whither and whence, and this fact constitutes his spiritual birth by which he is eventually ushered into the path. The path of divine knowledge has both beginning and end. In rare cases, a pilgrim may be very advanced due to efforts in previous incarnations. In such case, he may attain divine knowledge instantaneously as a gift bestowed upon him through the grace of a master. In most cases, though, the pilgrim has to travel the path by stages, attaining his knowledge gradually. The understanding of God which the average person attains through belief or reasoning is so far removed from the true understanding that it cannot be called inner knowledge. This is really profound because from childhood we are exposed to uh, religion or some reasoning, and we still don't have the inner knowledge and realization of the truth. Any
True.
comments?
True.
Such true knowledge, gnosis, does not consist in the construction or perception of an ideology. It is the product of ripening experience that attains increasing degrees of clarity. It consists in man's consciousness becoming more real and participating increasingly in the truth until there is nothing more to become and nothing more to assimilate.
Amazing. I
Eh,
love this paragraph.
Yes, it's nice. And if I can, if you allow me to share an analogy which comes to my mind, is that of photography of focusing on uh, you know this concept. Can I read it
Beautiful.
again? Can I read it
Beautiful.
again?
Yeah. So the object is unchanging, but your lenses, your focus, your perception is determined by optics. Basically, how well you focus the lens, change the depth, change the focal area, and then the clarity improves. Yeah.
I,
Please.
It also can be equated to the neti thing. So you start
Yes. Also,
detecting everything, and then
progressive negation.
negation.
yes, yes. Allow me to read it again if it's okay.
Please.
The understanding of God, which the average person attains through belief or reasoning, is so far removed from true understanding that it cannot be called inner knowledge. Such true knowledge, gnosis, does not consist in the construction or perception of an ideology. It is the product of ripening experience that attains increasing degrees of clarity. It consists in man's consciousness becoming more real and participating increasingly in the truth until there is nothing more to become and nothing more to assimilate. The devotional rituals followed in religions do not lead the seeker to the true inner journey, for in the greater part they are mechanical observances barren of the redeeming experience of divine love. Wow. Nevertheless, regardless of how
So this
rudimentary,
is I mean, sorry. This is again the reference to what we learned in God Speaks. This is Sharia. This is just devotional rituals,
yes, yes,
right? So the first reference to that, yeah.
or the
Keep going.
karma kanda
Karma Kand, yeah.
nevertheless, regardless of how rudimentary these types of belief and devotional observations may be, they do contain in latent form the future inner knowledge. As the aspirant struggles through the obscuring fog of mental and emotional tension, his consciousness becomes more, forming a spearhead that eventually pierces through the curtain to the inner path of divine knowledge. Even the early glimpses of this knowledge which the pilgrim gets are a great advance over understanding that rests solely upon faith or his reason. It's like going into the depths of the ocean and not just on
Yeah.
the surface. As the aspirant advances towards the path, he undergoes a significant change of direction that might be compared to a somersault. He is now more concerned with the inner realities of life than their outward expression. As the emphasis shifts from the external to the internal aspects of life, the deepening of consciousness is greatly accelerated. Now, consciousness is no longer committed primarily to the external incidents or routines, but is directed towards the deeper and truer aspects of being that demand greater integrity of thought and feeling. Caught up with this deeper awareness of the self is concurrent deepening of perception into the workings of the world. A refocusing of consciousness occurs, which is far reaching. All the avenues through which the individual conducts his search are radically transformed by the sincerity and concentrated purpose of his effort. The increasing depths of his internal understanding suffuse every aspect of life, giving it new form and meaning and causing him to hasten his exploration with the greatest acceleration. Poise of the mind, born of the pilgrim's new understanding, automatically and unwittingly brings about a readjustment of material surroundings, and he finds himself at peace with the world. Conservatism, intolerance, pride, and selfishness are shed, and everything takes on a new meaning and purpose. So it's if I can take a pause here, it's the mingling of the material and the real world, because we are all living in illusion, yet we have to come out of it and realize the the internal aspects of life.
Yeah, step by step.
Step by step. This is really beautiful. Sinner and saint appear to be waves on the surface of the same ocean, differing only in magnitude. Each the natural outcome of forces in the universe, rooted in time and causation. The saint is seen to have no pride of position, and the sinner no stigma of eternal degradation. Nobody is utterly lost, and nobody need despair. The internalizing, which is the real basis of entering upon the path, should not be confused with the purely intellectual discovery that there can be an inner life. Can somebody explain this? It's very
Finish the paragraph.
okay. Nor should the gradual and natural shift from participation in external events to a focusing on inner development be confused with the limited intellectual detachment some persons achieve. Since such detachment is only intellectual, it brings freedom only in the realm of limited intellect and is usually characterized by a sort of dryness of being.
So I think he's referring to intellectual detachment, right? The limited intellectual detachment some persons achieve. So the true spiritual person is of the world. I mean, lives in the world but not of it, right? So some people take the extreme position of intellectual detachment, which is actually not necessary. That's what I think he's talking about. There's further elaboration of that concept. Please continue.
I'll read again. I'll read.
Yeah, yeah.
The intellectually detached often try to shape the present in the light of knowledge of history, as well as through their insight into the possibilities of the unborn future. At best, such a purely intellectual perspective inevitably remains partial, sketchy, incomplete, and in a sense even erroneous. Further, the intellectually detached are almost never in vital communication with the elements which so largely shape the course of the present.
Sorry, I would like somebody to help me understand what is intellectual detachment.
Let me take a shot at it. Okay, go ahead. Who else wants? Okay,
Shoot,
go
yeah,
ahead.
shoot, Ravi, go ahead.
See, intellectual detachment is there should be a purpose for us why we are detached with something, right? We are, see, if you are a Baba lover, there is reason for you to be detached with anything. But what Baba says is we have to have a clear understanding. We should not be detached, but we should be attached and at the same time detached for anything. With your family, with your children, everything, you should be attached, do everything, be involved with the family and everything, but substantially detached with an understanding God is real, this is all illusion. That is the real understanding of detachment. This intellectual detachment is, I just want to be detached, I do not want to be attached. That's that bland. A lot of people who are not involved in the family because I do not want to deal with them. They don't like. I don't like this family. So, something like that. That's what my understanding is.
The
Just
Thank
to
you.
add one
intellectual
more line, yeah, yeah, I agree
intellectual
with what Ravi said.
detachment.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
go
Karthik.
ahead, mom. Go ahead.
As I see, intellectual detachment is some sort of a walking away from the world as
Responsibility. Uh-huh.
yes,
Escapist, yeah.
escapism.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, but say having a shawl over you saying that I am detached, I am not interested,
Correct.
I am spiritually different from all of you, things like that. So they want to keep themselves away from the practicality of life. So that is some sort of a defeatism. So the intellectual detachment drives you to defeatism, and you don't participate in the world activity in a fruitful way for others also. Jai Baba.
Sorry, my curiosity is with the word intellectual here. Detachment, roughly, we all understand, and attachment that Raviji mentioned. I, I'm not sure if Baba used the word attached, but he probably did say duties you have to perform while you stay
Yes,
detached.
yes,
So,
yes.
uh,
There's
but
a key word, right? Baba used. What is that? Attached detachment.
did he say? I'm curious.
Yes. I
Attached.
saw it somewhere. Attached detachment.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, reading is same that you have to do your work and duties.
Yeah, that
Why?
is duty, right? You have to be involved with the family
Right.
and love them as though they are your family.
Right.
And then you have to have understanding that it's all temporary. It's all in the illusion. In
Correct.
reality, you have to be attached with only one thing, that's Baba. See,
Yeah.
once I die, what happens? My family is not there anymore. I have
Mm,
had probably families in the previous lives, attached so much, but I don't remember anything now. Now I'm attached to this family.
mm.
And what happens when I die? All these guys are gone. Nothing exists.
Yes. So I'll repeat my question. My problem is with the word. My not problem. I'm not able to understand the textual because attachment with the family can be thought, action, mind, emotion, everything, right? But this is intellectual, which is usually used with mind, right? The
So
family.
I
Yeah.
think the privilege of the author here is to link intellectual detachment to something like academic or technical detachment. That is detachment without the full understanding of true values. True values as as spirituality and Baba demands, that without that recognition, if you pursue detachment for detachment's sake, that is a shallow intellectual detachment, technical detachment, academic detachment. That's the way I am inferring this. But I agree with all that Mamaji and Raviji said.
Okay.
So intellectual is to suggest something which is letter of the law, not spirit of the law. Technical, not academic, not really going to the depth.
So so I'm just trying to now think about myself and all of us, right? Start with myself.
Yeah.
So intellectual.
As regards one thing,
Yeah.
just say,
Sure.
as regards the family and friends that we have, I think we have to deal them as spiritual beings rather than holding them as me, mine, and you have that kind of rightful
Exactly.
behavior on them, which is in contrast with the others that we deal in. Unless if we make that harmonious, our behavior with our family, friends, and also from outside is similar in a way. Though, of course, we discharge our responsibilities, the money and living together and all that is as per the social structure that we have to be responsible for. But our attitude towards all our people all around us has to be dealing as them as a spiritual beings. So that's something can probably help
So
us develop that
so
detachment, as we are saying. Yeah.
everybody is a spiritual being,
Yeah.
but it's very difficult. It's not easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's not easy. Nothing is easy.
How can
We
you
are
not be
tied. We are
emotionally
tied
attached
with
to
a plank
family?
and thrown into the river and ask. We God Baba is asking us to swim. So that's there. Yeah.
It's like pockets everywhere. The path I can't see. You are attached, but you have to pay money, but you should not be emotionally attached. And you have to stay close, but you're not emotionally attached. You have to do your
Yeah.
duty, but you have to think. It's tough. It's
No, no,
tough.
no. It's no, no, no. It's not. You have to love them, truly love them. Actually, that's not. But our that love should not be so kind of so channeled that it flows only towards them, and rest of the people that are around us. There is a altogether a different behavior that we carry. So
Very
that's
tightrope
yeah,
walk.
yeah, yeah. So I love my neighbor's son the way I love my son. But of course, I do not discharge his duties. But I wish him well. I when I see him, I smile and he smiles and we hug. Those kinds of behaviors, rather than cornering me or something that ye to aisa hai waisa hai.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
that's the differentiation. Yeah.
I get a
Jai
feel of Jai Baba, Jai Baba.
Swamiji, what comes to my mind is that respect every soul. I mean, respect everybody and the soul within him. I think that can probably give an answer to, whether you want to respect, love, and smile, whatever.
Ideally, we have to see God in everyone. That is
Yes,
our end knowledge. So, when you are with Baba, Baba wants you to do something, you're fully involved, right? You're fully involved and try to do that. And when you are with the family, it's my family, neighbor's family. That's the stage we are in. But one day we will be, as Sunil ji said, uh, we'll see everyone not with their sanskaras, but with that they are the personification of God. We love God, so we love them. We see oneness in them.
absolutely.
That's the
Also,
ultimate thing.
All are one. All are one.
yes.
Hmm.
No,
All are one. Where's that
I remember.
Kutumbam you say, Ashok?
Sorry,
Vasudhaiva
Vasudhaiva
Kutumbam.
Kutumbakam.
Vasudhaiva
I said all are one.
all are one.
Yeah, and as Karthik rightly said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world, one family. I would say one soul, which is the S, which is capital. From that we all have come. The one ocean, we are all the drops of the ocean. I mean, just putting it poetically. Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
No,
I have
I think
one
Mamaji was
small
saying
point.
something.
Yes. In this context, I would like to remember or remind all of us that the progress in the path and progress is defined by so many terminologies by Baba. Intellect leads to enlightenment. Enlightenment leads to illumination.
Illumination.
So because of that, so this is a start of a stepping stone. So don't remain just at intellect, move ahead.
You nailed it. I think that should help you, Sunilji. Right?
Yes.
Intellectual is a stepping stone to higher realms or in the path. Illumination. So don't stop at intellectual.
So I'm maybe confusion will lead me to some answers, but okay,
Yes.
I get roughly what we are trying to do. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Maybe you can listen to this discussion again, and it might. I hope it's given you some light or some thoughts to think about.
Yeah,
And
there are lots of thoughts, but walking the journey as you
Yes.
do every day in your life,
yeah,
there are challenges. So
yeah.
in being intellectually attached or detached, whichever way, uh, whichever way you term it. So that's where the difficulty is, but we have to deal with it individually. So yeah,
Yes,
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Baba said it's the razor's edge you're walking on. Just remember, I mean, just imagine that, right? Walking on a razor's edge. We use that expression very often in many other contexts, but just imagine that for a minute, and then you will know what we're dealing with. You have to
Yeah,
walk on a
exactly.
razor's. Yeah, that's what it is,
Right.
and
So
I hear you.
if we can understand the perfect balance on that razor edge, that journey becomes easier. But understanding where the center of gravity is and where the edge is, it's not easy because it's very, very tight balance.
Yes.
So that's where my mind is going right now. क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना, क्या कितना करना है और क्या कितना नहीं करना. That's tough. Okay, anyway, it's an individual journey. Yeah, Jai Baba, Jai Baba. He will help us.
Indeed it is tough, and yes, look for the answers. Ask and
See,
get it
that's
from
why
Baba.
we have that's why we have something called experience, right?
Yes.
When you do an action, the outcome of it is your experience. And when we do actions, sometimes we do mistakes, we correct them next time. And sometime after some experiences, we know how to do exactly, in any
Yes.
process. Let's say I started making a potato curry.
Right.
Initially, I do a lot of mistakes. Maybe put too much salt or maybe too much curry powder or whatever it is. It's
Yes.
not good. The result is not good. So I do 3, 4 times, then I will perfect it. Same way, right? Every process we go through that and we gain knowledge. But if we use Baba's love, our process becomes very easy. With the detachment, our process becomes very easy and convenient and joyful.
Yes, I 200% agree with this statement. I was thinking exactly on the same lines. Yeah. We have to experience, we have to correct, course correct, adjust, and remember Baba all the time, and all the things that we cannot do, submit to him. Good ones we keep.
Yeah. See, if you look at all the sufferings, if you look at all the sufferings are joy. Joy, no problem. We love to enjoy the joy. The suffering, why me, right? Because you want something and you are not getting that, you're suffering.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
want to be normal. Your hand is broken and you're having pain. And the pain is not normal yourself. That's why you're suffering. Similar, any situation probably caused some mental suffering, either pain, physical suffering, or mental suffering. These
Yes,
two.
agreed. Thank you. Good discussion. Helped me. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Okay,
Help all of
so
us.
yes, indeed. I think let's stop at this point and continue the journey of uh, stages and states in the next session next Sunday.
Can we end with something like this? The 7 seva sayings or something else which
Sure.
which somebody else can read, or if nobody else is there, I'll read.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to read the 7 Seva sayings?
Yes.
Shruti, who would you like to hear from, or you would like to read?
No, anybody can read.
Name somebody.
You should read.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should read.
Sunil, over to you, please.
Sunil, please.
Okay, let me put on my spectacles. Hold on 1 second.
As
Okay,
Sunil,
That will
seven.
give
Sunil,
an answer to your question also.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. 7 Sahava's sayings. Desire for nothing except desirelessness. Hope for nothing except to rise above all hopes. Want nothing and you will have everything. Number 2, seek not to possess everything, but to surrender everything. Serve others with the understanding that in them you are serving me. Be resigned completely to my will, and my will be yours. Let nothing shake your faith in me, and all your bindings will be shaken off. Number 3, real happiness lies in making others happy. The real desire is that which leads you to become perfect in order to make others perfect. The real aim is that which aims to make others become God by first attaining Godhood yourself. Number 4, be angry with none but your weakness. Hate none but your lustful self. Be greedy to own more and more wealth of tolerance and justice. Let your temptation be to tempt me with your love in order to receive my grace. Wage war against your desires, and Godhood will be your victory. Number 5, love others as you would love yourself and all that is yours. Fortunate are they whose love is tested by misfortunes. Love demands that the lovers sacrifice for the beloved. Number 6, real living is dying for God. Live less for yourself and more for others. One must die to one's own self to be able to live in all other selves. One who dies for God lives forever. Number 7, this period of Sahvas is a period of my suffering and helplessness. My glorification will follow my humiliation. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Jai Baba.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
everyone have a great week ahead. And let's catch
Thank
up
you,
next week.
Sunil, for the slides you gave us, all these things.
I don't know. This was Baba working through me.
Of course.
I didn't give.
Baba through you.
Baba has given to the group.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.